I change your bum life. You fight me, it's a celebration.
I will beat you.
When you sign to fight me, it's a celebration. You ring back home, you ring your wife. Baby, we done it. We're rich, baby. Conor McGregor made us rich. Break out the red panties.
Are you ready?
That goes in the files.
Are you ready? Let's get it all!
Oh, welcome back to the fifth round. As always, your boy Stephen Moustaris. And sorry, it's like 1:30 in the morning right now. Just got home from B-Dubs watching UFC 285. And man, guys, I usually wait till like Monday morning to do this shit, or like even Sunday morning, whatever. But I am on cloud nine currently. You know, I don't want to say this funny, but it is kind of true, man. I don't care what it is. You could be having a baby, you could be getting married, you could be going to wherever, you can name anything, but I don't think there's anything out there that compares to watching your favorite fighter win, and especially in a dominant fashion, man. And Jon Jones, for him to come back, like, I mean, if you guys watch my videos, which I highly doubt it, new, whatever, but if you guys do, and if you guys heard me, I'm sorry for being a broken clock here, but like, you know, I have been watching this sport now for like 16 years, so you know, like, you go through, you know, your ups and downs. You see some, you know, you've seen your favorite fighters lose. You see your favorite fighters win. You get the highs and lows of MMA is so amazing, and it's why I love the sport so much. And you know, it's just those rare times, man. Because like, I've been saying it forever. Like, I would rather go out and fight Mike Tyson in his prime in front of millions of people and get knocked out, and I would still be less nervous doing that than watching my favorite fighters fight who I've never fucking met in my life. Jon Jones fighting, I'm a nervous wreck. Max Holloway, when he fights, I'm a nervous wreck. You know, Anderson Silva back in the day, nervous wreck. Rampage Jackson back in the day, nervous wreck. Like, you know, there's just certain people, and I can go on for days. Valentina Shevchenko tonight. I will get into that too, because Alexa Grasso is one of my favorite fighters ever. Valentina is one of my favorite fighters. Even tonight, Amanda Hebos is like my MMA crush. She fought tonight, so like, I was nervous tonight. Like, I felt like I was gonna have a heart attack tonight watching these fights, and luckily, I'm gonna be upfront with you guys. I would be bragging right now if Geoff Neal would have got that victory over Shavkat, because I would have called pretty much every fight right this weekend. You know, I didn't think that Jon Jones was look this fucking good, if we're being honest, guys. Like, I'm the biggest fan ever. I've been following ever since his Andre Guzman fight, and I swear on my life I've been following him since then. It was right around my birthday, and you know, the first round and a half, you're like, oh, this kid kind of looks average. And then there was just something special about him throughout the fight, just the things he was throwing and whatnot. And I know he actually hits Andre Guzman with like 3 nut shots in that fight. So it's not like it's pretty much classic Jon Jones though, because he's always got a foul or some sort of penalty in a fight. And I think it's hilarious because, you know, everybody's bitching about the eye pokes, the nut shots, the short grabs, like all these things that, you know, all these things that they talk about. But, you know, even steroids, all these things. But you know, I finally getting to watch him. Like, I already talked about it. In 2018 was my last time I was really, really excited for a Jones fight. And I mean, clearly when he goes on and fights Gus and beats him. And then, you know, like Thiago Santos, no offense to him, even though he had a great fight, like it's a 185er. Like, it truly, I know he's a big boy, don't get me wrong, but like I've always seen him at 185. Wasn't that excited about it. You know, Anthony Smith fight, definitely not excited about it. No hate to Anthony Smith. I try not to disrespect any fighter ever, but you know, we all have our favorite teams and our least favorite teams, and Anthony Smith might be closer to my least favorite team if that was a thing in MMA. And I just wasn't excited for that. I guess I was a little excited for Dominic Reyes just because it's that like up and comer, but I truly thought Dominic Reyes was, you know, just like that flash in the pan. Like, I don't want to say it like that, but he's just that new guy that was up at the time, kind of like Ciryl Gane tonight. Like, he's just that new guy that looks great and to the eye, but once he fights that guy, like, he looks bad. And I guess it didn't happen during the Jones fight, but it's happened to Dominic Reyes ever since. So like, you know, you kind of get these things where you're excited for him, and then he sits out all these fucking years, and then he looks terrible his last couple fights, and you're like, man, Jon Jones might just not have it anymore, you know. But I've always been a believer. I've always been a big fan. I've always been true to it. Like, I think motivated Jon Jones is a real thing. I mean, I'm not a high level athlete, guys. I couldn't imagine what it would feel like. Me personally, you know, I would always like to say I got respect for anybody. I don't care if I'm fighting my mom, who I know I could beat her ass. Like, I've never done it. Don't take it like that. I'm just saying it for the example. Like, you know, I know my mom's way less physical, you know, stronger than me, but like, deep down, if she throws the gloves on, like, I'm like, oh, man, in the back of my head, I'm like, oh, any punch could land, you know. But like, when you're a top dog like Jon Jones, I couldn't even fucking imagine a mindset of like, oh, I'm so good that these guys are nothing to me. And you do see it. He's just not motivated, and then we see the times he's motivated to fight, and I think that was my big thing. I think that's why I bought in this last month, is just the fact that, he's finally getting back into it. He's been out for a while. I feel like he's rejuvenated for the sport. So, but if we're being honest, nobody saw him going out dominating Ciryl Gane like that after 3 years off. Goes out there, gets a little nut kick in the first 9 seconds. I thought that was pretty funny. Kind of calmed my nerves a little bit. And then there for like that first minute, man, I was like, what the fuck is Jon Jones doing? He looks lost on the feet. There was a couple times where he missed some leg kicks. And, I guess it was only a 2-minute fight, and he looks amazing. But, like, on the feet, though, and he even says it in his press fight, man, there was a couple times that boy looked like he didn't know what he was doing. He had some tough time kind of squaring back up with Ciryl. And I was like, whoa. And then, of course, I don't know about you guys, but I was pretty worried, and I was kind of shocked Joe didn't bring it up. But the whole, the foot tape on his fucking foot going into the fight, I was like, oh no. We saw this with Chael Sonnen. In an alternate universe, Chael Sonnen beat Jon Jones because Jon Jones blew out his toe and didn't finish him before the end of the fight, or the end of the round, and he couldn't go on to fight. So there is an alternative universe that Chael Sonnen has got that one win against Jon Jones because he couldn't get off the stool because his toe was fucking blown out. So when I saw that, I was like, oh no, maybe his toe is broken. It's gonna snap his first kick or first step or something, because you can even see John was like, whoa, no, I don't want that off or whatever. So I don't know, that was weird, and luckily it never came up, and it was such a dominant win. Oh my god, I couldn't. Wow. And then also, to go back to my point, I would be really bragging right now, but Geoff Neal didn't get the win over Shavkat. But I will say this: I won some money tonight, guys. And if you don't believe me that I've been calling for Alexa Grasso to win this for a while now, go back. Just go back and watch my fucking videos, guys. I literally, when the fight was announced, I talked about how Alexa Grasso is one of my favorite fighters of all time. I've watched her fight literally since she fought Felice Herrig. I think was like her second UFC fight in 2017. I think I've been a huge fan ever since. Just the way she fights, and clearly she's attractive. So for me, of course I'm gonna be a fan. But then of course you learn her, you learn her skill level, and you learn her skill set, and you realize her counter boxing is fucking ridiculously good, and her boxing is ridiculously good, and she's been just becoming such a, I don't want to say like this, but like a slimy person on the ground where she just gets out of things and can sneak things in. And so, I'm not going to lie to you guys. I've been calling for it. I have people comment on my shit from this week talking about how I'm the only one sitting here bringing up Alexa Grasso. I got all the text to prove it. You guys can bring up my DraftKings. I literally put, because I was like, all right, you can win 4 or 5 times your money if you bet her to win. But I was like, I really think a submission's going to happen. I didn't think it was going to happen the way it did and how good she brought it up. But I honestly, at first, I thought her counter striking is going to be phenomenal. Her boxing is going to be phenomenal, which it was. I'm pretty sure she broke Valentina's nose in the first round. And then the other thing was the one thing I was kind of shocked about is as phenomenal as Valentina is on her stand-up and her her groundwork or whatever, especially her groundwork in this case. I just thought Alexa was going to be a little bit better at being a little skirmier out of there, maybe worming her way through some of those transitions and, not necessarily getting dominated in certain positions. Like she got on the crucifix a couple times. She did good at kind of getting out of there, and then she did good in the second round to the spin out and use the cage and everything, which was perfect. She was literally listening to DC on the broadcast, if you guys were listening, which was really cool. But then round 3 catches herself again on some easy takedowns that I'm like, okay, as a high-level person, especially a high-level fighter that's trying to become a champion, we need to work on these things. And then next thing you fucking know, she just gets the back so fucking quick. I don't even know how quick it was. That shit was the quickest thing I've ever seen. And it seems like when Jones, DC, and John Anik get together, I feel like they're almost cursing the champion. Leon Edwards was, I know he was running it for, even though he did lose that first round, if you go back and watch, he did lose the next 3.5 rounds, and then maybe even 3.79 or whatever you would say, because the last minute he lands that knockout when they're saying he's dead in the water and all this shit. And I was like, wow. But then it happens with Alexa Grasso. They're talking about how she needs to sharpen up her takedown defense. And Valentina's looking good. She's coming into her own with that jab. And then bam, what? He's got the back. Oh my God. And then I'm sitting there geeked. I just won my friends a bunch of money. I won myself some money, 25-1 odds. Not to brag, but I would be bragging here if Geoff Neal could have pulled that out, in which he was so close in that third round. Gosh damn. But honestly, fucking amazing card. I just wanted to sit here and talk about it a little bit. Just, man, just incredible shit. Like I said, there's not a feeling out there that even comes close to watching your favorite fighter win. Not to mention such a stacked card that I had like 4 or 5 of my favorite fighters. Not only Valentina and Alexa fight, who are 2 of my favorite women fighters. Amanda Ribas is like my MMA crush of all time. She had a crazy hard fight and got the win earlier in the night. Cameron Simon, I've been calling out for him forever, ever since his debut in the UFC. I think I made a video. It's like top 10 debuts by fighters that are 21 and under, and he was up there. I think he was like number 10 or number 9 just because of how impressive he was last year. And then comes out, has a great win tonight, even though he had a couple problems there with point deductions. It still gets the dub, which was huge. And then Ian Gary survived a scary one, man. Sheesh. You know, I thought he was going to win. I thought he was one of the locks of the night other than Bo Nickal. Then Ian Gary gets rocked in the first round. Ian Machado, Gary, my fault, just so I get it right. But then, you know, comes back, finishes it. And then, you know, just some phenomenal fights. I mean, I don't want to say phenomenal. Like the Dricus Du Plessis Du Plessis and Derek Brunson fight wasn't that. Like, I don't want to sit here and talk shit, but Derek Brunson had that shit in the first round, missed a couple submissions there, and then started getting real ugly. And I know that Du Plessis has been talking about how he's got that busted nose and everything he needs to get fixed. So that's why he kind of looks sloppy every time. But I don't know what it is. With Dricus Du Plessis, I don't know how he gets so sloppy. And I'm not hating because I'm sloppy. He's not. But I'm just saying, like, when it comes to him against another top 5 opponent in the fucking division, like at the highest level of MMA, yeah, you look a little sloppy. You know what I'm saying? Like you pull that shit off against Israel Adesanya, good luck. Alex Pereira, good luck. Robert Whittaker, good luck. You know, even if he decided to go down or whatever, Leon Edwards, good luck. You know, fucking Kamaru Usman, Colby Covington, good luck doing any of that shit. So I don't know. He was impressive. Derek Brunson, you keep forgetting he's almost fucking 40, so I don't know. And then every time he gets a big win, he fucking loses even worse. I don't know what happened to his gas tank either. We saw that with Jared Cannonier. This dude just doesn't have a gas tank anymore. I don't know if he just thinks that highly of himself that he's going to get finishes like that in the first round, but no idea what happened. But Dricus Du Plessis, man, hats off to you. Fucking phenomenal. Them South African boys, man. Cam Simon and Dricus Du Plessis, man, you got some shit. And then clearly Cody Garbrandt finally gets back on track. And just my last little thing with that, with Cody Garbrandt, that was tough for me, is like, yeah, I was rooting for him to win. I'm from Ohio, by the way, clearly. But so I'm a big fan of him. Clearly he's from Ohio and all that shit, even though I know he claims California and stuff like that nowadays. But, you know, the one thing that was just upsetting, it's like I had this flashback because, you know, I'm pushing 30, whatever now. So like 7 years kind of flies, you know, pretty fast at this point, especially if you consider 3 years of it was like the whole COVID pandemic. You know, it's sad that it was only like 6-7 years ago, maybe even 6 years ago, that if a Cody Garbrandt fight got to the decision, got to the judges' scorecard, that it was an off night for Cody. And now it's like we're all fucking thanking the MMA gods that he even gets to the end bell. So I don't know. That was kind of sad, even though I'm happy he gets the win. And, you know, it was kind of some flashback, but it didn't look very good. I don't know if he's going to get another win off of that. And I don't know if he would have fought Julio Ars tonight. I think it would have been very bad, but luckily he gets the last second replacement, Trevin Jones. And Trevin was looking good there in that last round, but also at the same time, Cody kind of gave it up. So it's whatever. And then clearly Bo Nickal. That man, Bo fucking Nickal, dude. Yeah, I definitely saw the nut shot. I will give him that. And even if they break it up then, I think Bo probably still gets a takedown, but to be completely fair to Jamie Pickett, even though whatever, I can understand why Jamie Pickett would be pissed. I would be pissed. Like, yo, I got fucking clearly annihilated in the sack. So I get it. That's a really tough loss. It's just, you can see, I'm not trying to hate here. I'm just pointing things out as a fan and as somebody who's been watching the sport forever. Bo Nickal, like I've been saying and everybody's been saying, like the wrestling base like that is one of the greatest bases you can ever have in MMA. But the technique when it came to that arm triangle was absolutely dog shit. And it would have been pretty impressive, or not impressive, but it would have been pretty interesting to see if he actually, so if he gets out of that, like say Jamie Pickett survives that for the rest of the round, it'd have been very interesting to see what Bo Nickal would have had left endurance in that arm or in those arms, because that boy was squeezing. So that was about it, but we'll never know. He beat him and everything, so I just do feel bad for Jamie a little bit, even though that was the pick of the night, the lock of the night. The UFC handpicked him to win. So, I mean, clearly they see Bo Nickal as that next one. You know what I'm saying? They see like, hey, He's our American Habib finally. He's our U.S. Habib, so we're going to keep him there. And I'm just really worried the UFC is going to push him too fast, man. That fight was literally ideal for him to look phenomenal tonight, and it worked out well. But, dude, let's not fucking forget the dude's only got 4 fights in MMA and professional MMA, and 2 of them, one's Contender Series, one's UFC. So, like, we got to be careful with that. I think the dude's got all the talent in the world. He's got a bright future, but we got to make sure that we do not push him. And I'm talking about the UFC. But guys, it's been the 5th round. As always, your boy Stephen Moustaris. And let's go, baby. That was a hell of a fucking fight night. I'm fucking geek. John Jones, my fucking boy. Let's go. Alexa Grasso, my girl. Do your fucking thing. Congrats to you. Literally shouts out to everybody. I thought Jalen Turner had a decent outlook. Same with Game Rot. They kind of did their thing. So Geoff Neal, shouts out to you. Shavkat doing his thing. Proved more with his chin tonight than I think a ground and pound finish would have done. So let's go, baby.